What's up, guys? Welcome back to Build Cool Shit. Today, we're back to work on our 1986 Honda Helix Cn250. And in this episode, we're finally going to go through and cut up that out-of-place foot brake and make it look a little, maybe complement what's going on here instead of just looking so out of place. From there, I've decided I got some different headlight mounts, so we're gonna go ahead and cut off what I put on here, so that way we can just be able to bolt something on that just, I feel like it's gonna work a lot better in this application. Then once we get that all taken care of, we're gonna work on getting our radiator mounted back up and finally get our gas tank in here. So off camera, I've been working on all the electrical of this thing, and I think I've got everything figured out for the most part. So hopefully, we'll be able to fire this thing up and be able to test it with no problems. And then I also went through and gave everything a light layer of paint. So all the rear here and our foot bars, I gave everything a layer of paint on that just so it doesn't get all rusty while we're testing this thing. And it looks so much better as well, but black's not going to be the color of this thing for long. Just during the testing time, and then we're going to tear it back apart so that way we can change it all up and make it look good. So, before we get started, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building cool shit. In a couple more episodes, we'll be testing this thing and making sure everything works right. And then we're going to tear it back down so we can paint it and make it look nice as well. So you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on what we have coming up. But with all that being said, let's get started. Alright guys, so we got our rear foot brake all figured out, as well as our headlight brackets were all mounted on there. Now I say were because I had to take them back off so that way I can paint underneath where I had to grind everything down there, and the hardware was just really cheap. So I'm gonna go through and get some new hardware for that stuff when I do bolt it back on there. So now it's time to go through, pull out our gas tank and our radiator, get that stuff all mounted back up, maybe get the fuel line ran and get a fuel filter in there as well, and then we'll call it a wrap on this episode. And then next episode we just need to do a few more things on this thing and we'll be ready for a test ride. So I'm gonna get you guys all set up and we'll get that all taken care of. So with all that being said, let's keep going. Alright guys, so after another late night, we managed to get this thing really close to being ready for our first test ride. We've got our foot brake taken care of, our headlight brackets are we cut the old ones off, bolted the new ones on there. We've got our gas tank is mounted in, our radiator's mounted in, our radiator fans all hooked up. We've got our fuel lines ran, we've got our fuel filter in there, and we are really close to being ready to take this thing out for its first test ride. So now we're gonna call it a wrap on this episode. In the next episode, we're gonna get grips taken care of. We need to make a seat because we can't buy anything for this. So I don't really have much to make a seat for this quite yet, because I just wasn't sure what it was gonna look like. So we're gonna just wind up cutting out some plywood, figuring out everything. We need to build mount locations and all of that. And then when we go through and we actually finish this bike up, then I'll either have a seat upholstered and made for it, or we will do it ourselves. But we need to make our seat pan to at least have something to sit on. But that's all gonna have to wait till next episode. So before we get out of here, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building cool shit. We're really close to being ready to test ride this thing. Literally next episode we're gonna button it up, and after that we're off to the races. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out, because we are very close. But with all that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next episode.